All right, last one for today. So here I am on the easternmost side of my yard, and these are the in-ground trees on this side. Most of these are coming into their second year in the ground. Well, technically first year because I put them in the fall, I guess. The only fig tree that has been in the ground longer, well, I have two. I have a Stella and I think what's a Norman's Yellow. I bought it as a Desert King, but it's not a Desert King. Tastes the same as Desert King. Is almost as productive, but the fruit is smaller and it's yellow and the leaves are not the same. So, whatever. Anyway, this one probably has the most prime spot. It's towards the top of the little hill that I have. My backyard is south sloping. But this one was my best fig last year. This was, it was really phenomenal. This one's called Traceus Plates. But you can see how far along it is. It's not that much further than the stuff over in the shaded part of the yard. And that, I think, is probably a good sign for the stuff over on the other side. So the one that is the furthest along, I think, on this side of the yard is this one. This one's called Dolce Kawore, otherwise known as Sweetheart. This is one of the first trees that I got, and it was in a 15-gallon pot until this year, and it ripened its entire main crop last year, plus Breva. So I decided to bite the bullet and put it in the ground. The guy that I got it from has his in the ground, and it suckers like crazy. So that's something I'll have to watch. It may just be a bush. But I've got several trees in the ground on this side of the yard. I tried to space them about 8 feet apart, give or take. I don't want to overcrowd. I've seen other growers that grow in tight spaces in the ground, and I think that's probably a mistake here. Because I want to get the best fruit quality I can. And you know, other people do it differently, and that's cool. I also want to be able to move trees if we ever decide to get another property, and I don't want to have to dig them up. So anyway, it's a little mini orchard back here, but this is the one that I'm having trouble with, and it's not dead. This is Blackzidar, but the top has not woken up at all, and I'm wondering if I got some cold damage on it. But I noticed today there is a little tiny green bud down here, so it's not dead. It just may come up from the roots. And I've got a couple other ones that are like that. My Preto de Taurus Novus is like that too. And actually, that might be a good one to look at. Some signs to look for cold damage. This is my Norman's Yellow. This is the big tree. It's got quite a few Breva buds on it, but nothing like what I've seen on Desert King. So I have decided I will probably end up grafting over this one. I've got some grafts already stuck to it, and it looks like this one at least is holding for now. I don't know on the other two, but we'll see. I just don't know what I'm going to graft to it yet. But I mean, you can see there's not a whole lot of difference between the potted trees and the in-ground trees as far as waking up goes. At least here. Hey buddy, you got your hedgehog? This is my Fuyu persimmon. This is like the 7th year it's been in the ground. Last year it put on like 8 feet of growth, and I had to top it. It was insane. But the first couple of years it grew, well, the first 5 years it grew just terribly. And what had happened was here, it was growing up and growing over itself and put out a new main trunk that I took off this last year. And what had happened was we had brought the horses over from next door to munched the grass out back, and they used it as a scratching post. So my bad. But it's doing really well now, and it fruits pretty consistently. Persimmons do great here. So this is one that I don't think gets enough love. This is my Oregon prolific, or some call it Italian honey, some call it Latarula, some call it white Marseille, although that might be in debate. This tree is awesome for Oregon. You need to have one if you don't have one. It might be the best honey fig we can grow. So, and that's strictly based on my opinion, but I've had consistent crops of Breba. It's a heavy Breba producer, and it's a super heavy main crop producer, and they both ripen for me. And I've also got a couple of varieties grafted to it. This one, there's a little chip bud graft that I did last year of Nerucciola de Elba. And then this was a chip bud graft that I did the previous year of Coldadom Blanca Negra. And that was one of my better figs last year. And it ripened all the figs on these 3 little branches. There was about 12 of them. It ripened all of them without a head start. So it's got a few little Breba on it. So I'm hoping that it'll ripen in the ground, which would be fantastic. So, and then this one, this is the Stella that I had talked about previously. This will be the first year I get fruit if these Breba hold. I probably put it in the ground too early. It was too young. And last year it didn't really grow that much, but hopefully this year. But no dieback, so that's really cool. This one over here, this is the wood pile from the deck when we rebuilt it. We're still working through it all. But this is the Preto de Torres Novus, and I put it down here in the lower parts of the yard, but it gets full sun all day long, and you can see up here, that section there, that's tip death. I don't think this part here is dead, but this part here, when you take it, or when you break it off, it's going to be really brittle. But one of the things that is a little concerning, if you look here, there's a bud that's starting to grow, but if you follow this up to there, hopefully you can see that little split in the bark, I think that's probably cold damage, and I think that's going to potentially affect this branch all the way up. So I may just clip that off, which is kind of unfortunate. This is supposed to be a good option, or potentially a good option for us for in the ground, kind of on the same lines as Floria. So I don't know if that's going to work or not, but if you find that your trees have one of these little horizontal splits, just kind of watch it and make sure that you don't have red bark and kind of desiccation around it, because that will be cold damage, and it will affect the growth of the tree, and you probably will lose everything above that. At least as far as like what I have seen so far in my trees. Yeah, so that's that. Thanks for sticking it out. I am trying to keep these videos a little bit shorter, but there's a lot to go over, and like I said, I'm a little caffeinated. So I'm going to try to make sure that the backyard is a little bit more kept up this summer, but we stay so busy. So there you go. All right, take care.